everybody. I'm Jeff Andrea, Business Development Manager here at Arkiva Software. I'm joined today by Justin Evilsizer. Hey, Justin, how are you today?
I'm doing good, Jeff. Thanks.
Welcome back. I know we did the demand planning last week or 2 weeks ago, and here today we're going to talk about inventory management and why inventory analysis is important.
So sounds fun. Let's dive into it.
All right, man. So, tell me a little bit, what I just said, what is inventory analysis and why is it important?
Okay. Well, inventory analysis is not just a full physical inventory count. It's not extrapolating from cycle counting, and it's not just a spreadsheet with some numbers on it. It is understanding where the issues are in your inventory and having a path forward on how to resolve those issues, right? So it's not just a number, it's knowing where the problem is and how to get to the results you're looking for.
Understood. Like when you start engaging in inventory projects, like where do you think you should start? Or, where would be a great place to start, you think?
Well, a critical thing is to identify what it is you're after from, if we think about attributes, if we think about, well, let's look at the attributes for a second. For some folks, something like work center capacity is going to be the driving force behind this. Mm-hmm. And for others, maybe it's a particular product that might be at the SKU level. It might be a product line. It could be packaging related. If there are inventory issues there that you want to solve, right? You might be looking at it from like that sort of bottoms up perspective. There could be aggregation types of things. Maybe you're running ABC analysis. And so you're looking at all of the C, or you're looking at your long tail and trying to come up with, an active strategy around that. If you are in a very time sensitive, maybe like a food and beverage type of situation, the best to use by date might be driving the sort of analysis you're looking for, right? So there's a wide variety depending on, what your goals are. But figuring out that the next step in that process, that's always going to be step one. Sure. Step two then is you need to have some sort of tool or some sort of process where you're able to just start to analyze, right? If we take the ABC, for example, then being able to take your C items, right, and not just look at it at a SKU level, but be able to drill in, get down to specific locations, right, to be able to aggregate up and see, higher level stuff. If your tool can snapshot stuff over time, you can look at trends, here I am today, but where was I, 2 months ago, and which direction am I heading in? And then from there, once you have a tool or process where you can really analyze, it's then the next step is to understand the relationship of what's the root cause of this? What's the problem that got you to where you were able to identify, the issue that you wanted to tackle? We can dive into specifics, but from a high level, you're going to be thinking about things like, how's my safety stock being calculated? Or, are my MOQs high? Are my lead times accurate? Safety stock, target stock, these sit as a balance between, demand and supply. And so if you don't have a good understanding of where the variability in your demand is coming from, if your lead times are wrong, those are the sorts of root analysis, right, that hopefully a good inventory plan is going to help you, spot those and then get to the underlying causes as to what's driving those outside of your target benchmarks.
Fantastic. So like when you're running these types of projects, Justin, where do you see like continuous improvement strategies, or what are some of the strategies that people are using today to maintain these types of projects?
When I hear continuous improvement, I think about that triangle that I think we brought up last time we were talking: people, process, technology. Yep. And these are the pillars, right, to success. And continuous improvement is going to rest on the laurels of the people within your organization. So if we've got the ability to analyze your inventory, we've got that ability to kind of find where are the issues you want to tackle. You're then, from a process perspective, from a technology perspective, you're kind of hitting your marks, right? And so continuous improvement is going to fall on the people. So having the right environment that allows them to preemptively go after what I think of as low-hanging fruit, to go after because inventory in its whole is just a bunch of there might be some big issues, but as you tackle those, it becomes more and more minute, more detailed, right? And so to be able to pivot, to be able to understand the bigger picture is going to be a big part of that continuous improvement, so that you're able to continue to use the tool to find the next benchmark, the next goal, right, in managing your inventory better. Coinciding with that then would be to have information flowing back and forth properly between all the different prospective people. One aspect of continuous improvement is you're looking for slow moving inventory. You're looking for things that are obsolete, that are out of spec. And there's an opportunity for people who work in quality or people who work in sales and marketing to collaborate then on strategies going forward. Maybe quality can look at something and say, we had designated 180-day shelf life, but reinspection, we can add another 60 days to that, right? It's not out of bounds to go 240. So
Right.
There's one example, right, of continuous improvement, and it's all coming from the people side of things, built off of the process, built off of the technology.
Yeah. Like over the years, Justin, a lot of prospects come to us, not just for demand, inventory, or supply, but they'll specifically be talking about inventory. This is a big problem for them. They know they have excess inventory. Managing like large pockets of obsolete inventory, slow moving. Do we have tools that can help them identify those types of issues with their inventory, and how to deal with getting rid of them?
Yeah. So, I mean, from our end, obviously, right, Arkiva's, inventory analysis is built around the sort of problems that come to you, right? And that we're hearing from the ground, and we're hearing directly from them where the issues are. And so from a financial aspect, if we think about, when someone comes to us, it's because they've got too much of their capital tied up in inventory that's not moving the right way. And when you have a tool like Arkiva coming into play, where you can do this sort of analysis, one of the first gains you're going to get from this is the ability to reduce how much capital is in the wrong inventory. And if you think about a new product launch, you want sales and marketing to be properly equipped for that launch. And so having the right amount of capital free flowing available to them is going to be a key part of that. So, not just managing what your existing is, but heading towards what's coming around the corner is going to be one aspect. From an operational aspect, there's a lot of different facets that Arkiva is going to bring to the table. When you're looking at poor inventory management, that means you're producing the wrong item, and that's going to cost you capacity. You're not making the right things at the right time, and if you're a capacity constrained, customer, that's critical. If we extend that to warehousing, inventory management from a warehousing perspective, you're lowering the sort of productivity of your crew because you're spending too much time doing cycle counting and these sorts of things. It's a cascading effect, and we've been listening to our customers so that we can make sure Arkiva's inventory module can respond to all these circumstances in order to help find the right safety stock and target stock for your needs.
Sure. Fantastic. Now, I do have a couple of other questions, but I just want to let everybody know that if you have a question and you want to write it in the box there, send it our way. We'll be more than happy to answer it here. And also the QR code that's on the screen. If you follow the QR code, it'll take you to an inventory page on our website that will give you plenty more information about inventory management and analysis. So I just wanted to point that out. But Justin, I have a couple other questions here. What impact does poor inventory management have on overall business performance?
Really, so it's a lot of things that we've been talking about already, right? We've touched on the financial side of things.
Right.
That if from a capital expenditure perspective, right, you want to make sure the right amount of money is in the right allocations for your budget, and anything that's tied up in obsolete, out of spec, slow moving inventory is going to reduce your operational expenditures accordingly. So that's one of those aspects. We've talked about operationally, just making sure that your capacity is where it needs to be. I think those really are the two large most people think about, when they're looking to kind of clean up their inventory management.
Okay, thanks. There are a couple of questions that came in.
Mhm.
How can businesses ensure the accuracy of their inventory data?
Well, so ensuring accuracy of your data. So we kind of know that it's expensive to do a full physical inventory count, right? You're shutting down a factory so that you can make sure that everything's there. So cycle counting plays, a pivotal role in being able to take that and pull out from there what should be your ongoing numbers. What's critical is in the inventory planning phase, your tool needs to be agile and robust. And so whether you're feeding in data that comes from a full physical count, whether it's coming from a cycle count, whether you're just reading off of transactional data and doing the math, to have a tool that is responsive to that, right? That it's operating in as close to real time as possible for when you're feeding in that data. That's going to give you the flexibility you need to do your slicing and dicing, to do your aggregating, disaggregation. So really, it's not about the method or the timing of the inventory, but it's about bringing it into your process so that you can do your analysis with as close to the real data as you can.
Great. And there's one more in here. Can you share a real life example of a business that improved its operations through effective inventory analysis?
That's a good question. I'm in our sales cycle, we kind of talk about the steps of maturity in your inventory process, and we have our rule of thumb ROI that people tend to get for that. But as I think here, I know sometimes it's difficult to mimic another business's success, right? Because sometimes each person's success is unique to themselves. But it's often easy to avoid others' mistakes, right? I think mistakes can be a little more universal. So one classic example that jumps to mind, there's Volvo's got this famous story. It's been in the Harvard Business Review, and it's like a white paper on the early days of S&OP formation and the ability to make sure you're sharing information, between different parties. In short, they were making, their new sedans. They had a variety of different colors, and the green ones just weren't selling. And marketing and sales put forth an effort that they realized, they got all these sitting on a lot and they need to move them out the door. So they started, doing a fire sale. They were cutting, the price below what they were, what cost to build them. But this information didn't get back to the supply side of things. The producers at the plant just saw green ones flying off the shelf, and they said, guys, we need to make a bunch of more of these, right? So they ramped up production and started shipping out more green ones, right? So the issues can be multifaceted, but the communication needs to flow, right? And so if this inventory thing is built around work center capacity, or if it's built around your ABC analysis or a particular product packaging, you need to make sure that all the right people are involved in understanding the results coming out of this, right? Because you're going to find your root analysis, and then you need to fix that root analysis. So all the parties that are relevant need to be invited to the table. So I think that might not be a specific thing that someone's done, but we can learn from the mistakes of others. So
yes, you can. Listen, I know we're getting short on time. I just have one more question I want you to leave the audience with.
Yeah.
right? What advice would you give a business struggling with overstock or stockouts?
Overstock and stock out. So to me, this is indicative that you either are not accurately understanding the variability in your demand,
Right.
or you have old or outdated information about how your suppliers are getting their raw materials to you. Because you know, there's another aspect of, you know, whether you're bringing a scalpel or a hammer to things like what's made to order versus what's made to stock. But you know, at the key part, stockouts and overstocks are just misunderstanding of that safety stock and target stock values. And so knowing your inventory variability, your demand variability, knowing the supply side constraints accurately will fix the math problem, right? The quality of the output of the formula is garbage in, garbage out, right? So you got to have
Yep.
good inputs. And so an end-to-end planning tool, right, that does the demand and does the supply is going to marry all that together. But if that's not in the realm, then just knowing better what your variability is so that you can update the garbage in and make it quality in, quality out.
All right, Justin, thank you very much. This is part 2 of a 5-part series that we'll be running. I certainly appreciate your time today, all the information that you were able to share with us. And I look forward to getting together with you again. These have been great. And I hope you have a great day, Justin. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jeff. Same to you.